Calibration of an SNMS depth profile requires the use of sensitivity factors, and it also requires the use of a depth scale calibration, and in this case we're going to use crater depth as the mechanism for calculating a sputter rate. To work out the sensitivity factors, we've used a standard reference material of known composition, and this reference material has allowed the calculation of these sensitivity factors, which can now be applied to the newly measured sample depth profile. So if you overlay in the active tile and then bring up the Dynamic Sims dialog window, you can see these sensitivity factors loaded in a table, and you can also see them when you overlay the data in overlay the traces in the active tile. You can see there's a table showing that they all have these sensitivity factors set up. So having ensured that this table is displaying these sensitivity factors, the next step is to select the corresponding blocks in the unknown sample and then copy these RSFs on a VAMAS block basis, and that's achieved using matching the element transition fields. So an element transition field of mass 63 will transfer the RSF to one that has the same element transition field of mass 63. So having set up the relative sensitivity factors, these all now appear in these tables on the Dynamic Sims calibration property page, and what we now need to do is enter a sputter rate, and we'll calculate that using the crater depth, and we also have to just update the page with the current RSF, so when we apply the RSF and sputter rate, the table is then set up correctly. So now each one of these VAMAS blocks have been set up with an RSF and also with a sputter rate. So we can calibrate the profile on the Prepare Profile property page, and we end up with a depth profile that is calibrated in terms of intensity and in terms of depth. So what we'll finally do is just make a few display adjustments. So we'll display the data points, and we'll also set a key or legend, and we'll also just adjust the range over which the depth is displayed so that we can see the legend clearly.